Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Chad. Today we are going to talk about the 5 jars that's going to help you get out of debt and help you be on the road to wealth. And I want to make a distinction between what wealth is, riches, money, that kind of thing. Okay. So when we talk about wealth, we are talking about wealth in the sense of building wealth that is tangible, things that will actually that has merit to it, uh, that can be sustained, that can produce for you the kind of asset building and stuff like that that will actually help you. Versus money, where money is not really a it's not really doesn't have any kind of real intrinsic value, so it's not really wealth, but it is used to gain wealth and it is used to help you get the things that you need. And in many cases, what happens is that when we are always going fighting over money, while we're always trying to get money, we begin to put money first instead of being able to help people and seeing a more clear picture in that. Where wealth is things that are like buying land, buying homes, rental properties. It's providing things that can be passed down from generation to generation. So there's a difference between what we see as being that makes us wealthy versus what God sees that will make us wealthy as well. And so the 5 jars is here to help you get that wealth that you need, and also to put your trust in God so that God can provide you with more. Because in anything, what does God want you to do? He wants you to trust Him in everything, so that so that He can bless you more. Whereas when we're talking about the things of Satan, he doesn't want you to trust God. He wants you to trust in Him, and He wants you to go after you know the worldly type of things like money. You're always fighting for money, and a lot of times what happens is when we are in debt, we get in debt, we become slaves to that particular debt. And so you have to work for, you're working for money, you're working for these things, and in order to pay off the debt that you have, whether it be a mortgage debt, whether it be car debt, credit card debt, all these things, that's being piled on and piled on and piled on. Well, a lot of times, perhaps with a lot of people, that debt becomes so overwhelming that they are unable to get out of the rut that they are in, and they're always just making it by paying off the debt and having very little left over for any kind of investments, left over for any kind of thing that can be provided for, as in things that provide for survival. So what can we do? So this concept is not a new concept by any means. It's a concept that I've learned from others. I learned this particular concept from Craig Hill, and you can check out. He's got a lot of books on it and stuff like that. But it's a very good concept, and basically it's learning how to take the money that you have and living off of just 80%. So you have your spending jar, you have your investment jar, you have your offering jar, your tithing jar, your savings jar, and all these jars, and that could be like bank accounts. Especially if it has like a high yield that you're getting. Yeah, that's always a good thing because you're multiplying money. So basically, it's utilizing these jars that will be able to build you the kind of wealth that you want in the future. It's having that discipline and being able to manage your income that's really going to help you, to break through where you want to break through. Especially if you don't have a business, if you're working for somebody else and you simply do not know um, You simply are not, multiplying your money, but you're just getting you have a paycheck. So what we do is that we take 20% of our income and we set that aside. Okay, we set it aside for you know, in order to put in these jars. The 80% that we have is our spending jar. It's for spending. If you have a business, it's paying your taxes. It's buying the things that you need for your daily living, like your grocery, gas, um, electricity. Anything that you're spending, your expenses, you're paying your bills off of. That's all in your spending jar, and so that ends up being about 80% of your income. So you're living off of 80% of your income, based on that. So then what you're going to do is what I do personally is that I take 10% of my income that I get and I put it toward tithing. So I have a bank account just for tithing, and that bank account actually earns 3.85% APY, which is pretty good. So I put that tithe into that bank account. It's also earning, it's multiplying uh, money, so that all that money that's set aside specifically for tithing will be then given to the church to expand the kingdom. Then I take the other 10% and I break it up between offering, savings, and investment. So offering is for anybody. It's not offering is it's like you're supporting your missionaries, for those who are going out into the field, and they are sharing the word of God. They're doing things in the field. It's separate from giving it to the church, where offering is like you're giving it to like a difficult like to build a church building or to support a missionary in the field. So that would be your offering jar, which is separate from the tithing jar. So the offering jar, what I typically do, because I have 10% left, I will put 3% of what I made into the offering jar. So 10% to the tithing, then I put 3% into the offering jar, and then I take 3% and I put it into the savings jar so that we could continue to build up and have the savings. And then on the investment jar, I put 4%, and then so it's a little bit more than the savings, but the idea under the investment jar is that you want to invest it in things that are going to multiply your income. Okay, so things that like it could be like a business that's going to multiply your income. Like a network marketing business, because if you build your network marketing business right, it's going to multiply and it's going to continue to multiply for you each and every day. If you invest it in a rental property, if you invest it in land, that can also increase in value over time. If you build your investment, your savings, and you buy your house outright, your land outright, then you don't have any kind of debt. Then that's also a way to utilize your investment as well. But investment in general are things that are going to be invested in, that you're going to invest in, that's going to pay you that residual, that passive income. Whereas the savings, you're saving for a rainy day, you're saving for a vacation, maybe you're saving for a house, that kind of thing. Okay, so and you want to put those jars. If you do this for your kids, then obviously just like a jar is fine. But if you're wanting to actually have your money grow, then put it into something that is going to help it grow, like the bank savings accounts that I have, 3.85% APY, which is pretty good. So I put the money there so that it will also continue to grow without me doing anything. And so these 5 jars, you know, over time they begin to build up, right? They begin to build up, and you begin to have you can really see how the multiplication is really working for you. And so for me personally, I would highly encourage you to institute these 5 jars, because not only are you, especially if you're a Christian, you're providing a tithe, you're providing an offering to help with the kingdom of God, because when all the money that you get, is from God, so you're giving it back, and so that it can be used to grow His kingdom, to help people out, to help mankind. And then your savings, whatever you're saving for, your investment, because you want to invest in things that multiply, and your spending jar to help pay off your debt, to help pay off, to buy your groceries, to pay your taxes, whatever it is. That's what that's for. So, and I heard concepts like, when you really put your money into things, like in the Bible, it says that whatever your heart is wherever your treasure is, where your heart will be, right? And so, if we are managing our money properly, and managing it well, and we're doing everything, and we are working, doing everything that we can to get out of debt, so that we are not a slave to it. You know, you set a time frame of like 10 years, but in reality, God will come through, because you're putting trust in God, and He's gonna come through and get you out of debt and much faster than what you originally intended for that to happen. And a lot of people have a misconception of money. They say that money is the root of all evil. Money is the root of all kinds of evil, and so you had so they think that if you make money, you're somehow evil, but it's not. That's not true. You have to have money in order to survive, and to do things, and to buy things, and to get the kind of what that you want. So it's all about having the right perspective. What happens is, with a lot of people, they begin to worship the money, right? They begin to worship it, and that's the only thing that they are striving for. And when they begin to strive for that particular thing, then that spirit of mammon is coming into them, and that's all they are doing. And they forget about what their true purpose is. The true purpose being that they are there to provide and help their fellow man, right? Whatever their purpose is, whatever God called them to do, you know, they forget, because they end up getting that spirit of mammon. They forget about their purpose and begin only to focus on the money, and that's when the trouble begins to come in, and they begin to get squelched, and they begin to lose everything. I know people who lost millions of dollars because that's what they were chasing. They were chasing money, but they were not chasing their purpose and helping their fellow man out. So, it's very, very important that we have we always keep the right perspective in everything that we do. And one of the things that the 5 jars does is helps us to keep everything in perspective. Why? Because we are setting aside 20% of our income, and only living off of 80%, where before we were living off 100% of our income. And so we didn't really have trust there that God will provide for us and make sure that we are taking care, that we are paying our bills, that we are getting out of debt. Whereas now we are like, okay, I'm going to trust you, Lord. I'm going to put 20% aside. 10% goes to tithe, 3% to offering, 3% to my savings, 4% to my investment. I'm going to trust you. This money will not be touched, unless I'm sending money to my tithes to a church, offering to a missionary. I'm sending investment to an investment that's going to bring me passive income. Then so it's being set aside, and so now we're like 80%, and it's like, oh crap, man, what do we do with with 80%? And I can tell you, it's not easy. It's not easy when you first institute these 5 jars, and you're living off just 80% of your income, and you have these bills coming in, and you're like, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do, but somehow, some way, God always comes through, because you're putting your trust in Him. for your to get out of debt and to grow your 5 jars, and God will provide for you. He will provide for you. As long as when you maintain and manage your everything in a more proper way, manage your money in a very good way. But anyway, so I hope you got a lot of value out of this. I hope you enjoyed this message that I brought to you through video podcast. And if you did, please like, subscribe, share it with your friends and family. Also, visit my webpage at prosperwithchad.com. That's prosperwithchad.com. And you can definitely get more. You can definitely support me there through that website. And I just want to say thank you so much for being here. And I hope you have an awesome rest of your